It's that time of the year again wherein Warframe gets to unveil their next best-selling Prime Access in the game. I say this because December is always the peak season for games in terms of revenue, and I think Digital Extremes is cooking something special for us this year with their upcoming Prime Access in December. Now, they have skipped this Prime Access and replaced it with Sevagoth Prime. Like always, it's all about what Warframe will get the most profit in the spending season, and I think that among all the upcoming Warframes that will be getting a Prime version, xaku Prime will be more profitable to release this Christmas season. This is just me, but I think that xaku Prime is a good fit for a December Prime Access since the Warframe is universally good based on my personal experience. The one thing that I love about xaku are their Grasp of Loc ability that summons void turrets after stealing weapons from enemies. These turrets are great as it creates a run and gun gameplay for the Warframe. All you need to do is mod for max range so you can steal more weapons, hence increasing the damage of your turret, then just run to the extraction while the turrets take care of all the killing. The best part is the ability works when you get out from your operator and takes form in operator void mode. You can use this technique against tough enemies, and you can just chill in your invisible operator while the void weapons kill enemies within the area. Another good part of xaku is that he also got a built-in crowd control and as well as defense strip with the lost ability. These synergies well with the max range build as giving range mods will also increase the radius of the defense strip. You can also gaze two enemies, hence allowing you to place the defense strip mechanic in different areas to cover more ground. And of course, there's the vast untimed skill which pauses all of xaku's abilities except for Helman's skills. It's also slow enemies and gives xaku dodge chance which enhances survivability, and enemies hit by the skill will also get damage vulnerability from void damage, hence increasing the damage done by your Grasp of Loc. Now, while it's not needed, but I like having Nourish instead of Sada's Whisper in my xaku as it adds energy efficiency to the build so I can recast my abilities anytime, and it also adds viral damage to guns and even to the weapons of my companion so it can spread the viral procs that increases the damage done to health. With all these abilities creating a perfect synergy, xaku becomes a versatile Warframe and can be used in almost any missions in the game. The run and gun gameplay is solid in Exterminate mission, and with the crowd control from their third and fourth ability paired with armor and shield stripping, the Warframe can also be good in defense type missions. Now, if there will be no changes to the Prime schedule release, then xaku Prime will our Christmas Warframe. And let me share to you the build I'm currently using as preparation for xaku Prime. Now, the first thing you need here is max range so that you will steal more weapons, increasing the damage of your Grasp of Loc, then get at least 200% power strength for the full armor and shield stripping of their gaze ability. In this build, however, I have chosen to go with Blind Rage, not just to further increase the damage of xaku's abilities, but this is also good for the shield gating mechanic, which is the primary source of survivability for this build. With high energy consumption per cast, brief respite will give more shield back to the Warframe. The max shield value of this build is only 329, and it gives out 1.3 seconds of invulnerability. You can actually abuse this if you put 2 more auger mods in your secondary weapon, which allows you to get 400 plus shield after casting your 4th ability, which by the way, you'll frequently case to both slow and debuff enemies with void damage vulnerability. This build focuses on making the Warframe a caster, which I did optimize using also Archon shards to increase casting speed and as well as energy, so I don't have to add prime flow in my build and I can maximize the range with auger reach. Before we proceed to the New Year Warframe, I would also like to update the Sly Wolfafila is not a good match for xaku right now, as the pet rework in the recent update removes the evasion and instead it will reduce the accuracy of enemies by 20%. In the past, a heavy attack xaku build with Carniset plus this companion will gain full invulnerability with 100% evasion against attacks, but right now, even the Carniset has been turned into accuracy debuff. So basically you will rely on the evasion of xaku's 4th ability and as well as the shield gating mechanic. Okay, now let's talk about the New Year Warframe. Take note that I am not referring to New Year's Eve, but most likely we will be seeing the next Prime Warframe after xaku Prime during the Chinese New Year, wherein Digital Extremes will also release skins like awesome Chroma Lunar New Year skin that we got this year. If Digital Extremes follow the schedule, then we might see Lavos Prime released during the Chinese New Year in 2025. Aside from the fact that Lavos Prime should be next to xaku Prime, if Digital Extremes follow their Prime release schedule, Lavos Prime is also thematically accurate as a Chinese New Year Warframe since 2025 will be the year of the wood snake. There's no other Warframe that can represent a snake figure, and it's kind of obvious when you see those serpents coiling in the arms of Lavos. Then there's this first ability called Ophidian Bite, which icon depicts 2 snakes looking at each other. Now, I know there are players that don't like Lavos Prime because some say that he's a weak Warframe. Well, you have been misinformed because with the addition of his Valence Formation Augment and as well as the recent pet rework, Lavos is one of the best DPS and tank combo that you can have tons of fun playing right now. I don't want to complicate things, so I just show you a synergy which you can work with. So, Valence Formation formation allows weapons to gain the corresponding element of an ability whenever it is cast with a guaranteed status effect. For example, if I cast Ophidian Bite and stored its toxin status, then my gun will gain the toxin status. It will then combine to the single element you have in your gun, and it will also proc a separate toxin procs. Let's use this Incarnate Tord build as an example. If I have high voltage in the build and then cast the toxin of Ophidian Bite, then I would get corrosive and also a separate toxic proc with this gun. Now, you can make this synergy with Incarnate Tord busted by modding for corrosive and heat. It's weird since the toxin will add to the corrosive damage and it will then have a separate toxin proc. If you have Nourish in your build also, then you will have toxin, corrosive, viral, and heat inflicted to the target, making the Incarnate a universally lethal gun in the hands of Lavos. In terms of survivability, Lavos is extremely tanky right now with the mecha mod set, not to mention that you also have more reason to use Kubrow now because of the retriever mods that can increase the chance of getting double credit or loot. With this kind of build, Lavos Prime will be fun to use, especially in Steel Path levels of the game. Take note that these Warframes are not official Prime release yet. There might be a possibility that they will make Lavos Prime first, then xaku Prime, or even a different Prime Warframe. But honestly, I have a strong feeling that xaku Prime will be the Christmas Warframe, then Lavos Prime will be the Chinese New Year Warframe. Then again, there is also a possibility that Digital Extremes may pull off the jokes on your card, then release something like Styanex Prime or Caliban Prime this Christmas. Then they will just add another Chinese New Year skin for Lavos. So that's all about it. I hope that you did not just enjoy this video, but also find it informative with the updated build for both xaku and Lavos. Before leaving, please support us by simply liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Please also turn on the notifications so you will get updated on our latest uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again in our next video.